What's up, family? Okay, week 1 of the NFL preseason is officially in the books. Plenty of players looking to prove themselves. So we have to start with our biggest winners of the weekend, then we will give you our biggest losers. When I think about everybody who won on the weekend, y'all saw the board. Justin Fields was my biggest winner, and it wasn't necessarily because of what he did, but he's the biggest winner because now he finally has won due to the talent around him. You got DJ Moore taking screens to the crib. You got Khalil Herbert taking screens to the crib. Now Justin's evasiveness and his elusiveness, it will finally come to fruition, if you will. Last year, Justin Fields was scrambling. He had to do it all by himself. But now Justin Fields actually realizes, oh, I have help out there. Bucky, when you watch Fields play, what was your biggest kind of takeaway?
Oh, look, I love that he finally has the support. Because he should have been a guy that we've talked about. Like, they took Trey Lance over him. They took Zach Wilson over him. He should have been the guy that came off the board right behind Trevor Lawrence. Now he has the opportunity to show that he's more than just a runner. I'm excited about what's going on in Chicago.
Joy, biggest winner for you.
I can't.
Yeah.
I was trying to
stay with him.
Hey, Joy, I hate to cut you off. I've never seen a bunch of men that are so excited about 2-yard passes, 1-yard passes. I'm sorry.
It mattered. It mattered.
The whole time Bucky's talking. All right, I'm gonna get my composure.
Oh, my God.
My week 1 preseason winner, we're doing television, is the Saints. Derek Carr looked great. This is a very winnable division. He's clearly the best quarterback in the division. You got Baker Mayfield, you have a rookie in Bryce Young, and Desmond Ridder. Keep in mind, Saints defense was very good last year. They were top 5 in several categories: total defense, 5th in total defense, 2nd in passing defense, and 5th in defensive sacks. They have Alvin Kamara, Michael Thomas. They have all these weapons, and Derek Carr looked poised, confident, precision, excited. That's what I want to see from a starting quarterback that's a veteran. So I think the Saints are the preseason.
I think the Saints can go far.
Derek looked good.
Because Derek did look good. And like Joyce said, not only do the Saints have talent on defense, but their roster is very veteran. Now, unfortunately, they're veteran good, not veteran elite. But like Cam Jordan, he's a fringe Hall of Famer. I think he'll get in. Marshawn Lattimore, haven't forgotten about him. Demario Davis at linebacker, he came to the National Football League with me. That's how long he's been playing ball. Ty Matthew on the back end safety. So you got a veteran rusher, you got a veteran backer, a veteran corner, a veteran safety. And you got Derek Carr, a veteran quarterback leading the team. Like, I think there's
I think he brings, Mike Thomas, I think he gets him back in the groove of the
for sure. I hope so. 2-5, biggest
here we go.
Season winner.
I hate to do it, but I gotta do it. I'm going to Dallas to get mine.
Oh, yeah.
Deuce Vaughn.
Deuce on the loose.
Deuce did his thing. I'm like, who this little dude? He running and shaking. I watched him at Kansas State, and I wasn't sure if it could translate to the league. You know, he's smaller dude, but you know, he get the ball a lot. Can he do this in the NFL? Sure enough, watch him. He looked good. Jump cuts, making guys miss, reading the blocks. He had a great vision. I didn't know how good his vision was, and he showed me in the preseason game against the Jaguars. And it's funny, I had to call Sproles. Now, I'm like, what other 5'5" or 5'6" guy I could call, right? Darren Sproles. I called him. I say, what do you think about Deuce Vaughn? He said, listen, that little dude is nice. Yeah. I can't wait to see him in the passing game. He looked great in the running game. You put him in the pass, sprinkle it in there. Pollard goes out, needs a breather, needs some water. You put Deuce in there, and he held it down. So I'm super excited for him, man. And that team is so explosive. I hate to say it because you know what it is with your boy inside that green. But I'm keeping it honest. I like Deuce.
It'll be fascinating because Sproles would text me, Darren Sproles, 15-year NFL veteran, former teammate of Shady and I. He would text me all the time during Deuce Vaughn's college games like, hey, this dude is nice, man. He was just as good as me in college. But Sproles was a returner is how he got his start in the league. Deuce Vaughn, not so much a returner. So Deuce is really going to have to excel in the running back room. But like Shady said, Ezekiel Elliott, he just signed with the Patriots. He ain't coming back. Rojo, he suspended the first 2 games.
He is.
So all the Cowboys have is Tony Pollard coming off a broken leg. There is space there for Deuce Vaughn to maybe get that RB2 slot. We'll see what happens.
Only issue I have with Deuce, I got to be honest, is that 42 is ugly.
Yeah, it's not.
Ask for 25, you know what I mean? 25, 20, or he probably got 20, something else to 42. That's 42. Like, and it looked big, too. Like,
he's little. He's little. They just gave it to him. The quick man just threw it over there.
This is not the longest yard. They got a better jersey for him than that. Come on now. Stop playing.
Bucky, who is your favorite?
I feel like Shady and I are kindred spirits, like we're flipping. So now I'm gonna go to the Eagles and talk about Jalen Carter and how impressive I was with him because, you know, in the draft,
first play.
Everybody's like, oh, we can't take him. We don't know about the character, whatever. But then quickly, he reminded us why he should have been the #1 overall pick. You saw the size, you saw the dominance. And the one thing that the Eagles have always done, they invest in the front line, offensive and defensive line. They have it. It looks like they found another one, and they've surrounded him with his old Georgia boys. It could be a problem. Could be a problem for a lot of people.
It look good.
Because he is legit.
Well, speaking of lines, when I talk about my biggest loser from preseason week 1, it's got to be the Broncos offensive line.
Yeah,
they had Russell Wilson scrambling the entirety of the game. Like, when I really think about the Broncos O-line, they're what might hold the Broncos back. Russell Wilson, I think he'll get back right. Sean Payton, I think he'll have them dudes right. Russell Wilson has to figure out Javonte Williams coming off a knee injury, Shady, if I'm not mistaken. It's coming off some sort of lower leg injury. So the Broncos offensive line was my biggest week 1 loser. Joy, who was yours?
I don't want this to become my theme this year, but I got to go with the 49ers. I mean, once again, Trey Lance doesn't look like he's got it yet. He was a huge investment for the Niners. Now, I understand they lucked into Brock Purdy. Don't talk to me about it. You lucked into him. He was the last pick in the draft. You get no credit for that whatsoever. It was pure. It was God sent. Do not even talk to me about the intention of that pick. So Brock Purdy looked great when he got his opportunity, but I reserve the right to see what he looks like after this injury during the regular season. I want to see a couple games from him. He's absolutely earned the starting job, no question about that. But I want to see what it all looks like. We know Trey Lance isn't going to be able to step into that if there's an injury. And if you want to pitch me on Sam Darnold, I don't know, better things to do. So I just don't. I think I was really hoping to see not Trey Lance step into just wow, like, oh, no, maybe he's going to compete for the starting position, but just look better than what we saw from him.
Look, it didn't look great. It didn't look great. He has to get better. Maybe a little more time, a little more seasoning. Maybe he'll come along. That's the only.
You really believe that? Because I don't believe that.
I don't believe it. I believe he is what he is.
Like, you can slow cook it too far, right?
I mean, you can't. I don't believe he is what he is.
Bucky, as a scout, because you watch a lot of the college game, one of the best in the business at doing it, and I've talked to some Niners individuals, but I'm interested in your take, how do the Niners miss on a player like Trey Lance like that, in that capacity?
Well, I mean, I think what happens is you always want more, right? You think about the offense, you say, I got Debo, I got this, we put this guy in who can run around, and you saw he was doing it. North Dakota, he was getting busy, he was doing all that, but he was playing at a smaller school, different level of competition, didn't play his final season, and so you're hoping that he would, because remember, Carson Wentz.
Same thing.
Carson Wentz had come out of there, and so there was some thought that maybe he would be like that. When Carson was playing well, it went sideways, but maybe they thought they could get that added dimension to the offense, kind of like when Kyle Shanahan had Robert Griffin. They were able to do some different things.
Very good point. 2-5, biggest loser for you off the week 1.
Joy, she stole it. You stole my thunder. You stole my fire. I mean, when I watch Trey Lance, I can't see how I don't want to blame them, right? I hate to blame people, but somebody has to take some blame. There's no way you think that he could be a starting quarterback in the NFL. Like, what shows you that? Sometimes with, like, quarterbacks or players, it's something that they do special. For me to take you in the first round, something they do special, I got to go get him, right? When I look at him, there's nothing he does special. There's nothing he does exceptional. There's nothing he does good, right? I watched him read easy, simple reads, cover 2 reads, right? The quarterback jumps on an out route. You got the seam, or not the seam, but you got the whole shot. You don't take, like, easy stuff. All his reads are like all delayed, simple reads. And I thought he was an athlete. They talked about how he can move a little bit. I watch him. I don't think he can run. So the loser for me is easily Trey Lance.
So let's park here for a moment because, Bucky, I haven't heard anything from you outside of your previous thought on Trey Lance. Let's park here before we go to break. Trey Lance, if you are the 49ers, what's your move with him? Because your hands are kind of tied at this point. Thankfully, you found a replacement in Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy should be the future. Trey Lance, though, it is evident, at least to me, right? His ankle has nothing to do with his mind. And at this point, for me, Trey Lance's mind does not process fast enough. So if you're the Niners, what's your move with him?
The only thing you can do is try and build back his confidence. There's nothing you can do because right now the money prevents you from being able to move on from him. No one's going to trade for him. Right. So you're stuck with him. So you got to try and figure out a way to maybe build him up so maybe next preseason he can show us something. But there's nothing they can do. He's designated to be a game day inactive for the entire season. And you just hope that he can get some reps in practice that will enable him to be something next year.
What pick was that? 3. You trade up. Hold on for 1 second. This is real quick. Maybe because I'm a second-round pick, I get mad about this, but you trade up to get him 2 first-rounders and an additional first-rounder for that year, right? And then take him in the third pick, and now he's going to be inactive the whole year? And he's 20-something?
Probably 23.
Come on.
10 more million guaranteed.
Bro, I'm just saying, like, ooh, like...
Why does it hurt you so hard?
Because, like, what are we doing here? Like, we killing him on TV because he looks so bad, which he deserves it. But the real blame should go to the front office of the Niners. I need them to step out and say, look, hey, man, we made a mistake, right? I don't want to hear about he can't grasp the offense, he's not focused. You know, it was reports last year he's in the strip club. I don't want to hear none of that. I need y'all, right, to say, hey, look, that's on us. We thought that this player from a smaller school could get it done. He looked good. He didn't play a lot of college ball. He didn't throw the ball a lot, but we thought that we could get something good with him, and we didn't. I need them to say that. Because I don't want to keep every day killing Trey Lance. I'm a former player, and I love my players, but I got to do my job, and he looked awful, like God-awful. But it's not his fault, Acho.
It's not.
I don't think
He didn't ask to be picked in the third pick.
I don't think it's his fault either, because where he was picked and what they used to get him is what created the expectations. Expectations breed disappointment. So if he was drafted in the third or fourth round, we wouldn't put him in this space.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to figure out, what made you think using that type of draft capital? It's one thing if you just took him at 3. Like, you have the third pick, you take him at 3, okay, you're taking that's like a swing. They got naked on this swing. The helmet's falling off, the pads and stuff dripping over the base. Like, they went all out for a player that didn't even have a lot of experience. Like, to me, I'm willing to take that kind of risk for a player that's played at a big school, that's in an offense with a proven coach or system, that's been up against tougher competition, that has years of experience playing that position. That's why I don't really put this at the feet of Trey Lance. And unless Brock Purdy is truly the future, which sort of gives you an edge out of this, I don't really think so, because you still lost all that capital. These are not first-round picks. Like, I don't know, whatever. If they win a Super Bowl, it doesn't matter. But to me, if they don't, I'm with you. It's not even about accountability. I'm like, I keep looking at this situation. I feel like I'm crazy.
I don't blame them, no, Bucky. The reason is like, if they thought they had them one, you got to go get you one. And the reason I'm looking at Trey more than I'm looking at the Niners is the Niners quarterbacks, for the most part, all succeed, at least individually.
Right, okay.
I think one of the statistics people talk least about, y'all remember the name Nick Mullins. Bucky, if I'm not mistaken, Nick Mullins, through his first 16 starts in San Francisco, threw for over 5,000 yards. Go Google it. Nick Mullins, through his first 16 starts, if I'm not mistaken, threw for over 4,000 or 5,000 yards. That's Nick Mullins. Jimmy G, y'all saw what Jimmy G did. Brock Purdy, you saw what Brock Purdy did. So you have to believe that Trey Lance will just be able to come in with all of his talent and all of his ability, will be able to come in and be competent.
But that's my question. And you're a scout. Talent exhibited where? He didn't even play his senior year. How many games did he even play?
So I think he maybe had, like, he has less than
20
15.
or something like that?
Not a lot.
College games? Like,
not a lot.
that's what I'm saying. Like, you can take a swing if you thought you had one. If you thought you had one at Alabama or Clemson or Georgia or LSU, USC or Pitt. Yes, at Pitt. Yeah. But like, and it's not even about North Dakota State. I'm saying he didn't even have it. If he had 3 years starting at North Dakota State, okay. He played 19 games.
Yeah, I feel you on that. And he hasn't thrown for 20 passes in one game.
Like, no wonder he looks like this.
And another thing is, like, if you didn't, so you really didn't need a quarterback, right? I hear everybody say, I mean, I'm not a big Jimmy G fan. Hold on, but they get places though. The Niners, they win with what they got.
True, but remember what you said.
Hold on.
Super Bowl.
But listen, every team probably said that. Every team said, hey, we want Jimmy G to throw the ball.
Correct.
But they've won all the way up there.
They did.
And it was a close game with us, the Niners and the Chiefs. But my thing is, like, you could have got that pick if you want to trade to get somebody and got a really good dominant player. With that pick. Right? Parsons could have been one of them picks. Not saying him, but I'm saying that value.
And well, at the end of the day, the truth of the matter is they don't miss it. Like, they just don't, because you found a quarterback in Brock Purdy who played last year.
I don't believe that. You don't at all?
They don't miss it.
So wait, so you telling me that you miss, so you trade these draft picks and you completely miss. Like, the course right here, you miss way over here, right? You tell me they're not going to think about that at all?
I'm just saying the Niners organization does not miss it. Remember 2012? Here's why I say that. 2012, my draft class, the former Redskins, current Commanders, they took Robert Griffin, number 2 overall. Okay. Remember, Shanahan was there, America, which I don't know why I'm now just tying this together. Bucky, if you recall, they traded a lot for Robert Griffin. Now, Robert Griffin in college was a dude that had to play him for 4 years. But they drafted Kirk Cousins in the fourth round. Kirk Cousins actually kept Washington Commanders stable once RG3 got hurt and no longer amounted to what we thought he was supposed to amount to. So people in Washington weren't like, oh, no, we don't have Robert. They're like, oh, well, still got Kirk. Kirk throwing for 4,900 yards.
And what did they do with Kirk? Franchise tagged him like 15 times, stricked it off. They've been through like 20 quarterbacks since then, didn't win anything, and have now gone through 3 names and new ownership. Washington is an extremely poorly run organization, maybe one of the worst in sports history.
Correct, but I'm simply saying...
And they didn't win anything. And the reason why I push back on saying that they don't miss these picks is because until this is a fully formed success, meaning there's one of these on here, then, yeah, you miss it. Because what do they have this insane roster for if you're not competing for a championship?
But they are competing for championships.
In spite of.
I'm sorry.
In spite of.
You're right. I'm sorry. Words are important. Speak. Winning one. Win a championship. And maybe they will this year, and then you'll be right. But to me, until you win a championship with this roster, with all this talent, you miss those picks, and you still don't have your future.
But the dilemma is all of these teams that traded up for picks, whether it was the Rams who acquired Jared Goff, however they acquired Goff, and all of these dudes who trade up for picks, they don't win them either. Like
the Rams have a Super Bowl.
Correct, but not with the dude they traded, not with Goff.
They also went to a Super Bowl.
But but they didn't win it. The Niners went to a Super Bowl too.
No, but
we're talking about winning these joints.
But what she's saying is, okay, yeah, listen, to correct a wrong is win a championship. And who did that? And I'm backing her up. Who did that? The Rams. So if you try to get Goff, however that might go, you trading, you win a championship, so he erases it. Yeah, we missed with him, but we got a championship. Ding, 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 ding.
But
even if you stole Detroit's quarterback, sent Jared there, and won a Super Bowl with your man.
I'm sitting here saying,
I got a ring with your man.
If you're a 49ers fan and you go to the NFC Championship game last year versus the Philadelphia Eagles and you lose, I just don't know how you can be that disappointed. Like, I just don't know how.
I'm not saying.
I don't know how you can.
The Niners are extremely well run. They compete every single year.
Extremely well.
They have a ton of talent. They have a great fan base. They're one of the best organizations in sports. But what I'm saying is, this is a loss to me unless you win a championship with this roster that's put this orb that we've been talking about. Unless you win a championship with it, you just like to compete at a high level. There's differences. There's levels. There's levels.
Ooh. Heard that.
Well, Anthony Richardson is about to find out.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.